You know, I always had an advent calendar growing up, and my auntie used to buy them for me. And my auntie is a very Christian lady, in that she had this amazing relationship with Jesus. But she was also of the view that some things should be Christian things, and advent calendars were one of those things. So growing up, she always bought me one of those paper ones where you have little doors and there's a little picture behind each door, and it tells you the Christmas story all the way through. And I always had those, and I was always a tiny bit jealous of the other children in my class who had chocolate ones, because I did not have a chocolate one, and that made me a little bit sad. And you know, the years went on, and eventually I got to those kind of teenage years where you do rebel a tiny bit, and my rebellious streak was that I did want a chocolate advent calendar. I was a huge rebel, you understand. So I got a chocolate advent calendar one year, and you know what, it was actually a bit disappointing. I found that I kind of missed seeing those little pictures and reading that little bit of the Christmas story each day leading up till Christmas. I enjoyed my chocolates, but it wasn't quite the same. And, you know, I think that in some ways kind of sums up Christmas, doesn't it? There's all this excitement, and you think you really want a thing. But often when you actually get the thing, it's a little tiny bit disappointing. Has anyone ever had a Christmas present that's turned out to be just a little tiny bit disappointing? Yeah. It happens. You get to Christmas Day and you're so excited, and you've thought you've wanted this thing for ages, and then it's not quite the thing you want, or, you know, it's not quite the right colour, or it's not quite the right one that you wanted. And invariably, I always find someone ends up crying on Christmas Day. There's all this anticipation and excitement, and it's so great, and then the actual day hits and it's all just a bit too much. You know, with my advent calendar, I thought I was missing out, and I thought I really wanted this thing. But in actual fact, it turned out that I had the good thing all along. And, you know, that picture of Christmas as all this anticipation and all this build-up, and then occasionally there's a little disappointment. I just think that sounds exactly like Jesus being born in the stable. Because there was all this anticipation for hundreds of years. The Jews were waiting for this promised king, this promised Messiah. He was going to come and rescue them. And a lot of them thought that he was going to come and overthrow the Romans. You know, the wise men, they followed that star. And where did they go? They went to a palace. They were expecting a king to be born. And what do we end up with? This kind of mess and squalor of a stable with a teenage mum and a stepdad and probably cow poo all over the floor, if we're being honest about it. It was not the promised king that people were waiting for. It wasn't what they were expecting to see. And, you know, I think the same was true throughout Jesus's life. People expected these things, and they didn't quite get what they wanted. I think of the part of the Easter story where Jesus rides into Jerusalem on that donkey, and that is this incredible image of a peaceful king coming into a city. But the people didn't really want a peaceful king, did they? They wanted someone to come and take their country back from the Romans. That's what they wanted Jesus to be. And here was this peaceful king riding into Jerusalem. It was all about to happen. The king had come home to Jerusalem. And what happens? He's crucified and killed on a cross. And all of those hopes from all of the years, they look like they've just been ended, finished with that moment. But you know, I think the thing about Jesus is it's a bit like my paper advent calendar with the little pictures behind the windows. I thought at the time it was a bit disappointing. I thought that I wanted something else. But it turned out that I had the good thing all along. And that's like Jesus. He is the good thing all along. He wasn't a king who rode into battle. He was a person who came and healed people and talked to people and, lifted up those complete outcasts of society that nobody wanted anything to do with. That's the kind of king he was. And isn't that so much better? I think that is so much better. I think, sometimes at Christmas, I don't know if you've ever done this, you get that one present and it looks really beautiful, and you go to unwrap it and there's kind of a slightly tatty cardboard box inside, because probably it's an awkward shaped present and someone's had to put it in a cardboard box to wrap it. But then when you open the tatty box, the thing inside is the best present of all. And I think that's exactly like Jesus. He wasn't at all what we were expecting. He was born at Christmas in this horrible stable full of muck and nastiness. But he is the best gift ever. And the gift that Jesus brings, that God sent us through Jesus, is this gift of living forever with God. That is a bigger Christmas present than any of us is going to get today. And the thing about gifts is that they're freely given, aren't they? We don't give with expectation of kind of getting something in return. We don't expect the person we're giving to have to do, a load of jobs for us before we give them their present. It's a free gift because we love that person. We want to give them something that is going to make them happy, that is going to add something to their life. And that is what God did for us through Jesus. He gives us this free gift of being able to live forever with him. And all we have to do is accept that gift. All we have to do is say, God, thank you for that gift. Please come and be part of my life. And that's it. You've got that gift forever. I just think that is the most amazing thing. And, in amongst all of the rest of the celebrations of Christmas and the fact that they're really different this year, I hope that one thing just sticks with us today, that this is the best gift ever.